Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. It's been about 2 weeks since my last video, so inshallah ta'ala you guys remember me. This is another episode of School Khutbahs. Inshallah ta'ala you take some real benefit from this. If there's a key gem in here that you think that you might forget, write it down inshallah ta'ala. And let's get started inshallah. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. My beloved brothers and sisters, there's one thing that you could do that could waste every single one of your good deeds. That is to not do all of these good deeds for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. To pray Fajr, but to only do it because your parents will scold you if you don't. To fast, but only because your grandmother will think that you're a disgrace if you don't. To pray Taraweeh, but only to do it because other Muslims might think that you're not that serious about deen if you don't. To have 100% proper ikhlas is to do it for the sake of Allah Ta'ala alone. Of course, that would take a while to achieve. Some of the scholars have even said that you do not know if you're being truly sincere. You can only hope. In the authentic hadith by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in the authentic hadith the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told us, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. I'm sure we have all heard that so many times, my brothers and sisters. Actions are judged by motives. The context of this hadith was regarding the migration from Mecca to Medina. There were people who were sincere in their migration and made it through for Allah. There was a person who migrated only for a lady and made it through that entire hijrah for that lady. Whereas there were other people who did the entire hijrah for Allah. They went through the same, they would have went through very similar problems. The problems that are faced when traveling about 450 kilometers in such a large group of people. They would have faced pretty similar problems, yet their rewards were completely different. Why? Because of the niyyah, because of the intention. This is the hadith that many Islamic jurists begin their book with. In fact, brothers and sisters, it has been the practice of some of the best of examples, the Salaf al-Salih, who are the Prophet Muhammad's companions, the generation after them and the generation after them, to do worship in private. May Allah be pleased with all those who followed and taught the pure teachings of Islam. It has been said that Ibn al-Qayyim, a great scholar, quoted a line of poetry saying, "The worship that we do in private is a huge cause that Allah will keep you firm upon His deen." I've got that from Abu Taymiyyah. My dear brothers and sisters, the opposite of this concept is to show off, Riya. This is considered minor shirk, my beloved and sisters. The name itself already tells you of its danger. I don't have to explain it. Minor shirk. To show off with our good deeds is to completely waste them. That being said, one should not stop doing his good deeds for the fear of showing off, as this is also showing off. And he should not start repeating prayers out of fear of it not being sincere, because these thoughts are from the shaitan. It may seem confusing, but don't start doubting your intentions when doing good deeds and start repeating them after hearing this. Just trust me, keep going with your good deeds and keep doing them for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala 100% alone. The surah in the Quran dubbed after Al-Ikhlas, Sincerity, my dear brothers, is reported to be equivalent to a third of Al-Quran Al-Kareem, as reported in Sahih Al-Bukhari, and it's talking about reward. Before ending, I'd like to give us some tips on improving our sincerity. Asking Allah for sincerity and humility in our deeds, and asking Him to protect us from Riya. Allah gives us a hint on how to be successful in Surah Al-Mu'minun, and I heard this from an Islamic talk a while ago. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Successful indeed are the believers. And we all know, and I'm sure we've all heard the beginning of this surah, and Allah goes on to give a description of these successful believers. And the first thing He says after that verse, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. Those who humble themselves in prayer. It continues, and this means those who have khushu' in their prayers. The next point, doing more deeds only between us and Allah. It doesn't just have to be when your parents aren't at home. You could just be dropping that quick subhanallah underneath your breath. You're just walking from class to class, astaghfirullah, subhanallah. Next point, reciting the dua. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika an ushrika bika wa ana a'lam wa astaghfiruka lima la a'lam. Inshallah ta'ala, I'll try to put a link to the dua somewhere. I might put it somewhere up here, inshallah, for you guys to copy, for you guys to take a quick screenshot. What it means is, oh Allah, I seek refuge in you lest I associate anything with you knowingly. I seek refuge and I seek your forgiveness for what I do unknowingly. The next point, ever think you're more than a servant of Allah? And I had to switch back to a voice that is close to my real voice to say that, because it's, I think, really important. Allah told His Servant ﷺ to say in the Quran, As-Salamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. The video cut out, but basically that was the last point, and what I was going to quote was a verse from the Quran, which is the following, inshallah.
قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ يوحى إلي أنما إلهكم إله واحد فمن كان يرجو لقاء ربه فليعمل عملا صالحا ولا يشرك بعبادة ربه أحدا.